Good evening, everybody. Please welcome your host. He's 46-year-old, and now he's in 4K, Greg Simoneau. Thank you. Thanks. Good to be here. Oh, boy. Oh, thanks to PAC TV for having me. Whew. Thanks to Dustin, Dave, Max, Carol, Donna, and the whole PAC TV staff, who are amazing here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the work you do. Whew. Whew. So we've made it. We're at episode 6 tonight. Thank you for watching. Oh, a few shout-outs. Whew. Shout out to Jen Simoneau. Hi, Jen. Shout out to Betty and Gerard Simoneau. Whew. Mom and Dad. And Mom, if you want to call me, do it. I have my phone right here. And Dad, please remind Mom that this is not a live show, so there you go. Also, I would like to say hi to Scott. Scott was with me in the original show, and on episode 6 of the original show, we drove around my 95 Saturn. Whew. And we took a basketball and we would dunk on unsuspecting people's hoops. You know, hopefully they were set to 8 foot. So that's what we did there. Episode 6, this will be episode 6, so I have a credit of 5. And Dustin, do I get my own email now that's attached to the company? 6 in now. Something like Greg Simoneau, Rules, PAC TV, 1000 at pactv.com, something like that. Do I get so people can reach me, so you can check me out on the socials. You know how to get a hold of me. All your Greg Simoneau collectibles and memorabilia available now. We can't sell on public access, so that was a joke. Speaking of jokes, my first joke is my Nana, she used to call me a Sharpie. And not like you think, she would say, "You're a real blue marker." Blue marker. Her Italian was sketchy, a little bit sketchy. I went to the doctor's this week. I had a visit, my yearly physical, with the nurse, so not the real doctor. So you know how that goes, right? So this song came to me, and I said, it was just in my head. I was in the waiting room. I was thinking, you know, don't you wish you could see your primary, don't you? And then that turned into, I got a little hungry. You know, don't you wish watermelon was free like me, don't you? So that's just a little watermelon joke. Watermelon's not even in season now. Might be free, I don't know. So this holiday season, I know you'll probably want to get your gifts and your greeting cards. And what better to put in your greeting cards but those lottery scratch tickets, right? Something like this, right? You get your holiday bonus. Well, how about this year? We get these homemade scratch tickets. I don't know if we could zoom in on this. Good for actual scratches. So you actually get scratched with these. So none of these are losers. You can't have a losing scratch ticket. This one's called, "Let Me Get My Claws on You." Scratch to cash. This one you can win up to 15 times, and the bearer of this ticket is rewarded actual scratches. So that's just one of them that's coming out this year. Since they're homemade, you could, you know, make as many as you want. This next one is, "Oh no, did I break skin? You won. Anytime free scratches from," and then there's a little blank space, you can put your name on it. And this is another scratch to cash. Happy holidays. Everyone wants their scratch tickets, right? And then this one here is, "That might leave a scar. You won a good old-fashioned scratching." Not valid in the state of Alabama. Also not endorsed by the Massachusetts Lottery. So, and this one comes with a bonus. You win a free Band-Aid. So that's funny, right? You would pick it off. Maybe on your own, include your own Band-Aid on that one. And then we got, I think I'll shave your back before I scratch. So you can have a clean spot to scratch. Some people have hairy backs, like yours truly. Let's get rid of this back hair first. Winner gets scratches on hair-free portions of back. And it says a bonus. The bonus on this ticket is a shave. So you can use any of these ideas on your own homemade scratch tickets. Absolutely. And I think this is the last one. This is the 70s retro version. You know how everything 70s is cool now. A scratch on the head is worth 2 in the bush. The winner gets a real head scratcher, literally. Bonus bush scratch. I don't know what that means, but maybe the beard. Is that what we're from? Yeah, scratch. It's a real head scratcher. It's a 70s, scratch my beard, there we go. So it's a real 70s retro version. So I hope these gave you some ideas and save some money this year because you're probably not going to win with the Massachusetts lottery or, the Powerball. So when I was a little kid, I had crazy dreams, and here's just one of my, wishes or dreams when I was a kid I'd like to share with you. This, it's kind of like a journal entry, something like that. And when I got a little older and got a job, I started working at my family business when I was around 10. I begged at 9, but I only got ice cream. I figured out that I wanted to pave the streets in my neighborhood in gold and sidewalks, but I figured out that was gold was on the rise, and people were even giving cash for gold back then. So I had to start a new idea, even newer than my helicopter tree fort and better than my tree fort on wheels. I wanted to make the town into a super town with theme park-like attractions, good-looking women, and a big mechanical dinosaur in the harbor that would pop up from time to time, blowing smoke like a dragon and twist and turn, then go back under into the water. Maybe it's like On the Hour or something like that. Real attraction. Bring the people in. And the villagers wouldn't know if it was real or not. They just knew that they weren't allowed to touch it, go near it, or it would eat them. Then we would build a monorail around the whole town, because this is a super town. This is my dream. Except the poor parts, obviously. High up in the sky, so the poors couldn't touch it, you'd get a nice view, and it would bring you to different parts of the town. Go to watering holes, drinking spots, and it would go over that house that had the exotic animals chained up in the backyard. And then if anyone got in trouble in the town, we would just push them out of the monorail into that lion's den, and that would be that. It would also bring you to stores, then back to your house. The monorail would have seatbelts if you were drunk, barf bags if you were sick, and condoms if you were, prone to mistakes. Now that I'm older, I realize that I'm probably going to need permissions, fundings, and the belief of the townspeoples. Obviously, the poor people wouldn't get a vote. But my proposal, I would probably deemed an outcast, too crazy of an idea for this town, only to have my robotic dragon and good-looking women to keep me company. It's okay. Deemed crazy and a fool, and the poor people would probably tip my statue over. But in a couple hundred years, when they dig up the records, I might be deemed a visionary. Wait, the monorail brought about prosperity. Unless they destroy this town and move on to expand the highway. In that case, I will be reverted back to a fool, only known for the harm he caused the neighborhood kids with his helicopter tree fort and the shame he brought upon his house, which was a tree fort on wheels. And that was my story from when I was younger. We have a good show for you tonight. Thank you, and we'll see you in the coffee shop. Yeah. Oh, and another gift idea this holiday season. Is your little sister bothering you? Try hypnosis. The li- Hypnosis, the board game. You try to answer trivia about hip hop icons like Lauryn Hill, Grandmaster Flash, Snoop Dogg, Big Boy, Biz Markie, and others. The whole while, no sisters are allowed. Hypnosis. No sisters allowed until round 2, but hopefully your respite during round 1 helps settle things down for a moment during this hectic holiday season. Available at fine retailers. This is just a, like a product development box, obviously. It's not the actual thing. The cover is a little racy. It's got the gold album, the gun, that's a hip-hop, homage to hip-hop, the mic, the boombox, and this is the little sister dressed like, like a Becky Lynch type, if she's bothering you. So Merry Christmas, everyone, from the Greg Simoneau Show. Oh, hi there. Welcome to the coffee shop, where we talk shop about writing comedy. Today in the coffee shop, I wanted to talk about, you probably brought this book up before. It's the stand-up comedy book, Successful Stand-Up Comedy Book by Gene Perrott. But let's first, I always forget to do this. Let's warm it up here in the coffee shop. Let's warm it up by calling out some comedians, calling them hacks. Let's think, who could we think of now? Jeff Foxworthy, hack. Jerry Seinfeld, hack. I don't want to say Bill Cosby. It's the only thing that's coming to mind. Steve Martin, hack. I think that successfully warms it up. All right. And in this book, I try to learn and I try to take a chapter and apply it to this show, so you can only get the best comedy here at PAC TV on the Greg Simoneau Show. And this week I was reading this part here, sit in your own audience. And what he's talking about here is pretend you're the one 3 rows deep listening to your own material. Is it funny? I don't know. But when you write your punchlines and your setups, go for strong punchlines and grade them. And he tells you to grade them on a scale. Like, if something's going to get a laugh, maybe this is a 2, maybe this is a 3, and maybe this one's a 5. Whoa, hilarious. So if you were writing a comedy book, he suggests putting like 3 5s per page. Now, I don't know if you're like me and you read old comedy books, but sometimes material doesn't hold up. So I'm sure when the books come out, they're funny, 3 5s per page, but maybe not realistic. Just to mention that. In that chapter, he also reports that he writes about he was working on the Roseanne show, which that was a funny show back then until she got canceled. Roseanne was funny, but Roseanne Barr was funny. Look it up, right? She was funny. And he talks about that maybe she didn't like a line in one segment, so he went back. She's like, this line doesn't make sense here. And he went back and looked, and she was right, because portions above were deleted, so it made that line obsolete. So they changed it. Now, he says Roseanne wasn't being difficult, but she also knew her audience wouldn't get it, and that wouldn't fly, because it doesn't make sense. And he also said that Roseanne thought that another line was lousy. And he said, no, she's not being hard here, she's being playful, and that she recommended a better line, and that's in that instance, and the joke worked. So we're talking about rewriting your jokes and making them a little better, and also how to act with people and interact with writers. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't apply to this show because I do whatever I want. So anyways. I also talked about Bob Hope, and Bob Hope was funny back in the day. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Bob Hope. Bob Hope, hack. He would reject some material that he thought was slow, like my little childhood story that kind of slows down the show. He might not do something like that. He'd only want, punchy
punchy stuff. So those are all things to consider when writing your own show and writing your own comedy from the coffee shop. Also today, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. This is Andy Kaufman in this book, Lost in the Funhouse. And like, look at that cover art. I don't hide my fingernails. Look at that cover art. Some people probably think that I'm lost in the funhouse. Not true. I just write my own material, good or bad, you know. So this is a hardcover book, right? And I just found this at a store, and I might have bought the paperback book when it came out, and it was really huge about the time when Jim Carrey made the movie Man on the Moon. So this was all like good material. And this is a little story from my dad. I was staying over at Nana's house, had this book, and she had a bunch of blue hairs over, you know, old ladies. I don't know, they were playing craps or something on the kitchen table. And they saw me with this book, and I walked up the stairs because I got to stay in Grampy's old room, right? I was just kind of like staying at different houses. You know, sometimes I stay at home, you know, with grandmother's, you know, who knows? I don't know. It was a different time back then. So they said, oh, great, what are you reading? I said, oh, you know, Andy Kaufman in the Funhouse. And they said, oh, he was crazy. I read that book. And I was like, you know, I didn't realize that other people would read something like this. I thought only I would be interested in comedy books, but also, you know, old people have a lot of time on their hands. And when something new comes out, they gobble it up. So just keep that in mind. So I bought this 20 years ago, recently found it. My copy I lent to a friend and said, just keep it, you know. I read it, what do I want? Now I want to reread it, you know what I mean? This is a hardcover edition, so I'm real excited about this. And I was like, did I lend that person a hardcover? And I'm like, I didn't write in it, you know what I mean? I can't tell if this is my edition. So tonight here on the show, I'm going to sign this copy. When I finish reading it, I'm going to donate it to Savers. Shout out to Savers. Great job that you're doing here in the town of Plymouth. We enjoy all your charitable works. Thank you for what you do there. I love the store, Savers. Local store. I promote all local businesses, very local. I'm going to sign it tonight on the show, and then if you find this copy, you'll have your own Greg Simoneau collectible, right? That's going to increase the value of this book, you know, tenfold, maybe when I'm gone and if I'm deemed a fool, or you know, the prosperity one, you know. And I hope I do get a statue in Plymouth, but the poors might knock it over. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Can we zoom in on that? Now that's a pro right there. Woo! $1 million signature right there. So if I go to buy this for a third time, I'll know. All right, wait, Greg, you already owned this book. Oh, you know what? I just really got the inkling for a yogurt. Dustin, can I get a yogurt in here? Okay. You know, I didn't want to say anything, but I brought in 6 and I only got 3. You know, I didn't want to say anything. You know what I mean? Just get a yogurt. Geggy yogi. Hi, welcome. Thank you for watching the Greg Simoneau Show here on PAC TV. Here we're committed to quality shows, humor, Bible shows. The local scene is great. And we're here to bring you quality shows at an affordable price. PAC TV is part of your cable package, channel 13 on Fios and 43 on Verizon. It's included in your package, so at a low cost, the quality is A-OK. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Enjoy PAC TV in the morning. Try them in the afternoon, and try them in the evening, late evening, and early morning. Almost got that out. And from all of us here at PAC TV and the Greg Simoneau Show, thank you for watching. Now, is that what you wanted? Now can I get my yogi? Can I get my yogurt? I gave you what you wanted. Yeah. Welcome to the Card Zone. Tonight in the Card Zone, I brought my entire collection of helmets. I usually like to wear one during the Card Zone. Call back to my baseball card dealer. He passed away, but he used to wear one behind the counter at the card store, which are kind of a thing of the past, but cards are coming back. And he used to wear the Yankees one. And, it's a little blasphemous here in Plymouth, but, we'll put on the Yankees in honor of P&L Cards of Buzzards Bay, your local card store. R.I.P. Paul and Lenny both are no longer with us. News to most, news to some, I should say. It's a no laughing matter. They were a great bunch of guys. I also discovered a card shop popped up in Manomet. I think it's called 5 Lanes Card Store. Shout out to 5 Lanes Card Store in Manomet. Enjoy your cards there. It seems like they have everything from Pokemon to baseball and football. So there you go. Maybe one day I'll get in there and surprise them. Hey, and they'll be like, "Who are you?" And maybe we'll get a little clip for the card zone. So, Dustin, what I'd like to do tonight is try on each helmet, and then maybe in post, like we could speed it up. You know what I mean? And so here it goes. Like if we put the music on, that would be like all distorted because of you speed up the tape. Okay. So this is going to be very awkward for a moment, but let me just start with this area here and then that area, and then we'll speed it up. So you'll be able to witness a Greg Simoneau show where I wear each and every one of my collection of MLB helmets. Replica. Do not wear these for safety. They're not padded. Believe you me, no safety here involved. Okay. This is only used by a professional, right? So we got the Yankees. Woo! Sea Dogs. Oh my God. I got attacked. Blooper reel. What the heck? There's a card sleeve in there. Wow, that was weird. Didn't expect that.
Red Sox. Plymouth Sea Dogs. I probably shouldn't say the name. I should probably just put them on because, the audio would go. I've always wanted to do this. I never had a reason to. I always try to work at home. Yeah, you know what I mean? But since I moved, I haven't worn any of these. They've already sitting in a box and they deserve to be displayed. I mean, like say I'm like a senior league player, you know what I mean? A guy who like retired. Yeah, they might use it. Some Gavaro. They might use it. Yeah, it would be cool if there was all 32 teams. It'd be really weird, But cool, nonetheless. So the time of this bit, we'll be able to see it because I am going to fast forward this. Now I'm giving my little poses. Show us through steel. This one says China's Hospital on it. Yeah, somehow I have set to my exact head size. There's the old cartoon comes this one. Hey!
Whew, and that was all the helmets in my collection. Let's wear that Yankees one for Lenny. R.I.P. So a little story I have behind these helmets is whenever there's a child born in my family or my close group of friends, I'll show up at the hospital wearing one of these, as a joke. So here we got the back here. I don't know if you can see it. The visitor pass from the hospital. This is when Henry was born back in 2013. That's his actual birthday. So that's kind of cool. Here's another one. This is when Grace was born. Again, she was born in South Shore Hospital in 2010. She probably doesn't even know that this, this is in my collection. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. I was visitor 234, and then in this one I was visitor 236. That's kind of weird, huh? I wore this Mets one when Brody was born. I don't have the sticker to prove it, so it's not when Brody was born. I think I wore this one in 2009 when Piper was born. And, I think I went with some other ones when other kids were born that are maybe like just friends' kids. But still important and still a monumental occasion. Congratulations on your baby. This one actually says 2003 on the back. That's when my brother would, he went down to Baltimore and he got this one. And they give you the stickers. I guess he commemorated it by putting that on there, 2003. This is the old Baltimore hat. It's a good logo. If you're watching us on Verizon 43, you'll know this is a Verizon helmet. So thanks for watching on Verizon 43, Greg Simoneau Show and PAC TV. All right. One of these we were at Rocky Point. It was a carnival type scene, and all the altar boys got brought there by Father Buckley and Father Green for what every summer. We'd take a bus down to Rocky Point. It was in Rhode Island, and they had a game there where you had to guess the speed of your pitch, okay, and you could win a batting helmet. So of course we wanted to do it, and my brother, who was probably like 8 at the time, and I was like 14. He's just a little kid, little guy, and he wanted to do it. And so you got to one practice throw, and then you guessed what your next throw would be, and then you throw that, and if you guessed right, you won a helmet. I think it was like $5, or maybe something like that, back in the day. And he threw it, and he kind of let go, and it hit the ceiling of the little Carney's little booth there. It hit the ceiling, but it still registered a 30 miles an hour, okay? And so they're like, and the Carney's like, okay, well, what do you guess on this pitch? This is for the helmet. And he's like, 30 miles an hour. And he flew out of his hand and hit the ceiling of the booth, and it registered 30, and he won one of these helmets. You know, who knows at this point which one, but one of these helmets, maybe this one, was won by my brother, Justin Angus Simoneau, by guessing that. So, you know, we went on a few more rides, and we're like, well, you know, we're leaving this, but let's try it again, okay? Let's guess your speed again. Let's do it again. Maybe get 2 helmets to go home with, right? So he throws it, and again, it slips out of his hand, and he hits the roof, and the guy's getting a little mad because, you know, I don't know if they charge the Carneys for the roof repairs, right? So, and he registered 30, and he goes, okay, guess where you're going to throw this time? He's like, 30 again, right? This time he holds onto the ball, throws a perfect strike, right? 32 miles an hour, right off the back of the wall that you're supposed to throw it off. He's like, loser. And I tried it, and you know, you see Roger Clemens, and you think, oh, I could throw 90, I could throw 95, I could throw 8, probably 80. And I was 14, but I could only hit, I think my highest was 64. You know, that's like Tim Wakefield's fastball, you know what I mean? Like, that's like knuckleball. So I still try to this day. I'm still, you know, I don't want to crank my arm out, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. I'm still throwing maybe in the 40s, the 50 mile an hour area. So that's not striking anyone out. That's my point. So let's just wrap it up. I've been Greg Simoneau, and keep opening up those packs.